Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. My name is Mark Farzetta. Lovely to have you along for the ride. Oh, my goodness gracious, do we have a show for you today? Olivia Reiner, I've been talking about her all week. Olivia Reiner is going to be joining us. She's the one that's been dropping her own version of truth bombs, I guess you could call it, in the Eagles press conferences, asking some tough questions that some people, that if you pitch the question to them, you say, hey, you can't ask that. What are they going to say? Well, we'll find out, because they might say something. So Olivia Reiner will join the show, and even before I booked her, and then after the fact, this story came out that she wrote for Inquirer.com on Haasan Reddick and how he is seeing more coverage snaps under Matt Patricia, and he says, I'm willing to do it to win. Okay, so he's doing whatever it takes to win. This is Olivia. You can follow her on social media if you so choose. Here's the deal. In the story, she writes, in turn, now this is according to Pro Football Focus. In turn, according to Pro Football Focus, Reddick has dropped into coverage 7 times. He dropped into coverage 7 times against the Cardinals, which was the most he has done as an Eagle. Reddick had only 23 pass rush snaps, resulting in 1 pressure. Again, this is against the Cardinals. In total, the group of edge rushers, including Brandon Graham, Reddick, Nolan Smith, and Josh Sweat, dropped into coverage a total of 12 times against the Cardinals. Now, why is all this relevant? Because it's a taste of things to come. And it seems like quite a bit of a change for Haasan Reddick when the man was brought in here to simply get after the quarterback. When the man, Haasan Reddick, signed here with the Philadelphia Eagles, he was asked the question, when are you at your best? And I always love this question, because really what it does is it tells you when that player feels like they're being best utilized. It lets you know when that player feels like they can best help the team. And you know how Haasan Reddick answered that question? When I'm allowed to play downhill, when I'm allowed to play fast, when I'm allowed to play aggressive. Dropping Haasan Reddick back in coverage more times than he ever has to the Philadelphia Eagles, that is the opposite of when he feels he is best utilized. And he's a Pro Bowler again, and now all of a sudden you're changing the way he plays, the way he can best help your defense. That doesn't seem like a great change by Matt Patricia. I liked how Sean Desai was using him. That seemed to be pretty nice. So I know one of the things you can really take away from this is similar to what you could take away from A.J. Brown. The vast majority of what A.J. Brown said to the media on Wednesday was great. The one haunting thing was when he was asked about, well, you feel this way, but does everybody feel this way? And he's like, well, I can't speak for everybody. We don't know. Good God. So there's a problem still in the locker room. Despite how A.J. Brown feels, there's still a problem in the locker room. And if you're a player that is apologizing to the team for being a distraction, for not speaking, if you're a leader and you're apologizing to the team for not speaking and being that distraction, and you're telling everyone that you have to take ownership, meaning the players have to take ownership, that it's not the coaches lacing up the spikes, lacing up the cleats and going out there and playing football. It's us, the players. We're going out there and playing. We got to play better. That means that there's other people in the locker room that need to hear that. And it also means they need to hear it because they feel the coaches are not putting them in the best possible position to make a play. That's the cold, hard truth of it. So what was highlighted from A.J. Brown, it was the majority of what he had to say. The subject matter was highlighted that, hey, he's cool. He's cool with the coaches. He's cool with his teammates, but not everybody's cool with everybody else. But what was highlighted was the positive. What's being highlighted with Haasan Reddick is also the positive, that he's willing to do whatever it takes. But the real story with Haasan Reddick is he called out the front office. And I haven't seen that really pushed out anywhere else. So you might not be seeing this a lot today. You might not be hearing this a lot today. So I don't consider it a scoop by any means, because it was a locker room session, and it is written about here by Olivia Reiner, who's going to be joining us momentarily. It's a very interesting thing here with Haasan Reddick's words to the media yesterday. Usually on a Friday show, one of the things I'll try to focus on a Friday show is something along the lines of a breakdown of the upcoming matchup that the Eagles have here. It's pointless to do that today, because the Giants have nothing to do with the Eagles and what I want to see from the Giants have nothing to do with what I want to see from this game. I just want to see, the only thing I can tell you about that is I want to see the Eagles beat the Giants. That's it. As far as 5 things, I'll try to get to 5. It's a very basic thing here. Control the game. that'll be my preview, and I'll get into that a little bit more later in the show. But first, we got to lead with Haasan Reddick, because without question, to use this term again, he was dropping truth bombs at his locker yesterday at the NovaCare complex. First, he was asked by Zach Berman about being dropped back in coverage the most times he ever has as a Philadelphia Eagle, and here's the way he answered that question.
Man, right now we just trying to get things done to win a game. I'm just doing what's asked of me at the end of the day, and trying to help the team win and with whatever way we can win. So if that's what it calls for, I'm willing to do it. I'm gonna go out there, do what's required of me, do what I'm asked to do at the end of the day, and hopefully that plan works, and that's what was needed. That'll be what's needed to get done in order for us to win.
Did you catch that? No, not the little somber guitar in the background. I don't know who that is. It's not me. But did you catch that? If that's what's being asked of me, was that a snicker? Was that a little laugh, like a little, I can't believe they're asking me to do this because I'm pretty damn good at getting after the quarterback, but yet they're asking me not to get after the quarterback, and somehow that's supposed to help the defense more? That seems ridiculous. That's what that said to me. I got to be honest. I read the article from Olivia first, and then I went back and I watched like DeAndre Swift and Jordan Mailata and Jason Kelsey in the locker room, and then I come up to Haasan Reddick. I'm like, okay, good. Now I can hear how he delivered these lines. There was a chuckle. There was a snicker in there. If that's what they want me to do. What's that? That's not. Hey, my coaches have a great idea. Here's the idea. Ready? The thing I'm great at, they don't want me to do anymore. What do you think? You there? You with me? No? Oh, okay, interesting. That's what that said to me. That's what I heard. So then it goes on. And Jeff McClain, credit to him for this as well, also Inquirer.com. Jeff McClain asked this great question about, so how much of the struggles that you guys had in the Cardinals game are because of the switch at defensive coordinator? Now, keep in mind, this entire time, Nick Sirianni, Matt Patricia, it's been status quo. It's not that different. This is the Philadelphia Eagles defense. This is the Philadelphia Eagles defense. This is not Matt Patricia's defense. It's not Sean Desai's defense. If I'm Matt Patricia, I'm just calling plays. It's not that much of a change. Oh man. It seems like it's a big change here. Here is Haasan Reddick yesterday when he was asked about the struggles the Eagles are having on defense and how they relate to the defensive coordinator change-up.
I think a lot of it, like you said, we changed coordinators. They got a different style, a different way they want things done. And that's pretty much what it is. Patricia's in there now. He has a certain way that he would like for things to be done. We're doing our best to adapt to that in this time period that we have, and trying to get everybody on the same page moving forward. That way we can be great in the playoffs. Is that why?
Trying to get everybody on the same page. Folks, I don't know if y'all got a calendar. I know we your phone and all that stuff. I don't know if you've looked at the Eagles' schedule lately. This isn't week 6. This isn't week 3. This is week 18. This is week 18. Good God, man. And then this is the smoking gun of smoking guns. Oh my goodness. I referenced Asante Samuel yesterday. I'm trying to think, and I was trying to think yesterday of anyone that has called out the front office more so than what you're about to hear from Haasan Reddick. Because no one comes to mind. Nobody comes to mind. Take a listen to this. Haasan Reddick yesterday. The question was, is it enough time to adapt to a new defensive coordinator, essentially? Is it enough time? With 4 games left in the season here? Seattle, New York, with Arizona in the middle. Haasan Reddick, ladies and gentlemen.
It's hard, man. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do, but it's our job at the end of the day, so there's no complaints about it. But yeah, it's definitely a hard thing, right? You spend so much time with one DC and learn, a new DC at that at the beginning of the year, and trying to learn everything that he wants us to do, his terminology, the way that he calls things, and then towards the end of the season we switch. But like I said, at the end of the day, it must get done. That's what the higher ups here felt was needed to get done in order to try to make a change and get some things corrected. So as players, we got to go out there and do our best to perform.
If I had a beverage down here, I would do a mock spit take. No, I do the actual spit take. I would. The higher ups felt that was the best thing to do. The higher ups, not, hey, as a team, we needed to make a change. See, this is why you ask questions. People are like, well, what's he going to say? Well, that's what he could say. Well, what's he going to say? Well, okay, there's the PR brand of answering that question. As a team, we needed to make a change. Something needed to change. That's what, as a team, we decided to do. That's what, the people that make those decisions decided to do. And this is why we all have to, rally together and make sure that we're playing the best brand of football we could possibly play to wind down the season. That wasn't said. What was said was, the higher-ups. That's what they felt needed to be done. Not us. We needed to change something. Haasan Reddick. Here's what I gather from Pro Bowler Haasan Reddick. Camden's own, Temple University's own Haasan Reddick. Here's what I got out of that. Ready for this? It was stupid. It was stupid to change your defensive play caller, essentially your defensive coordinator, with 4 games left in the season. And the point that was also brought up during that media session was Shaq Leonard learning Sean Desai for the Dallas game, and then pop, switch over to Matt Patricia. That's not a lot of time there, folks. That's not a lot of time. That's bad. That's very bad. This is insane to me. I feel like I'm on crazy pills listening to this. Because here's what Haasan Reddick gave us yesterday that I felt A.J. Brown did not. And A.J. Brown was great. Loved the 99.9% of things that he had to say. All that stuff's great. He was great. Everything's awesome. Haasan Reddick gave us the validation that I was hoping we would get from A.J. Brown. Because, look, I love that he's a player and that's his attitude, that it's on us as players to play and it's not the coaches because they ain't playing. No matter what the play call is, we got to execute and we got to get the job done. That's a great attitude. You want that in every single player. However, that's not true. That's not a good take. If A.J. Brown is if he's not a player and he's telling you that and he's like, oh, no, these players suck. Like if he's just some guy at a bar, a friend of yours, a talk show host, and you say, no, everything's great. It's just the players. That's a trash take because that's no way true. You mean to tell me the best way to end that game against the Cardinals in the second to last possession was back-to-back quarterback runs, miscommunication with the players, burning a timeout, screen to Kenny Gainwell? That was the best. That was the best way to handle that. Is that really putting the players in a better position to make a play? No. Is that really putting players in a better position to win a game? No. Is changing defensive coordinators with 4 games left in the season a good way to make sure everybody is on the same page and communication is optimal and they're ready to roll into the playoffs? Is that the best thing to do? No. Is that putting your players in a better position to make a play? According to the player right there, no. That's validation. And in, I believe it was about 8 minutes at his locker yesterday, I got a ton more validation than the 13 minutes A.J. Brown spoke. Haasan Reddick validated everything we have said. Most fans, a lot of media, said at the time the decision was made. This is not the time to do this. This is not just, panic button, boop. No, this is, the panic button, and then jumping on it like it was a damn trampoline. And that's what the Eagles did when they changed up their defensive coordinator. Oh, no, it's not that big a deal. This is everybody's defense. It's the Eagles' defense. It's not just my defense. It's everybody's defense. You know whose defense it isn't anymore? It's not Sean Desai's. You know whose defense it isn't anymore? It's not the players because they're being thrown through it right now. They're being put through the ringer to try to get all this under their grasp before the playoffs start. And I bet you that the front office knew it was going to be hard. As dumb as the decision is, they felt something's got to be changed. Hey, as Haasan Reddick told us, the higher-ups had to make this decision. So he sees this happening. The Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, Nick Sirianni, they see this happening. The defense isn't playing great. They're terrible on third down, all that jazz. And then they go, hold on a second here. Hold the phone. We got the Seahawks. We can win that game. We got time to change things up. We can win that game. We got the Giants twice and the Cardinals mixed into that. And the majority of our games at home. After today, this is the perfect time. This is an easy schedule to transition a defensive coordinator. You essentially will have a month to install whatever you want to do. Your terminology, as Haasan Reddick said, I didn't know it was going to be different terminology, but apparently it's different terminology. Even a different cadence, even a different way the play is called. You're just getting used to somebody else. Folks, it's very simple. You could have two master chefs cook a meal for you. If you have one start it and the other finish it, that's not going to be the same vision from chef 1 to chef 2. It's not going to be plated the same. It's not going to taste the same. It's going to be a little bit different. From what Haasan Reddick's saying, it's been a lot different. Oh, my goodness gracious. Listening to him yesterday, it validated everything. But the Eagles went in those last 4 weeks of the season, and they said, this is plenty of time. This will be like the preseason. This will be like where we're trying to get guys used to different defensive coordinator, different play caller, and all that. This will be a great way to end the year, and by the time the playoffs start, we'll be ready to rock. We can still win at least 2 or 3 of these games with a new DC, new play caller. It'll be great. Everything will be great. Not the case. Not the case. This is not good. And it has really put the Eagles, it has really put their players in an atrocious position. And I was shocked to hear the amount of honesty from Haasan Reddick. That was a man speaking yesterday that just did not give a damn. Laughing. Literally laughing at the idea. So you drop back in coverage. Let's see here. More than ever as an Eagle, your thoughts. That's what they want me to do. What are we doing? It was a 10-1 football team. They were terrible against the biggest measuring stick games that they had this season. They were really good. Hey, they played great against the Dolphins, one of the best games they had in the season. Dolphins knocking on the door to win the AFC East. The Bills, actually, they made a change at offensive coordinator. They've been they won 5 of 6, I believe it is. The only loss they had is to these Eagles. This team is in utter turmoil. And look, I know we had a lot of good vibes there with A.J. Brown yesterday. Haasan Reddick was the straight shooter. A.J. Brown, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all. A.J. Brown was about me, myself, and I. He talked about what he wants the team to do. While Haasan Reddick acknowledged the hardship that this defense has by changing their defensive play caller with 4 weeks left in the season. Haasan Reddick seems like more of a real deal as far as the entire locker room and how they feel about it, more so than A.J. Brown telling you that he's cool with the coaches. Love it, respect it, great. Everyone was worried about A.J. Brown. We hadn't heard about A.J. Brown for 2 weeks. We were worried about what narrative might come out of it. We were creating, I was on with Bill Colarulo yesterday. We were talking about what kind of narrative could come out of this. We're creating our own hypotheses about what could be happening. He came out, told us everything. Great. Feel good. Listening to Haasan Reddick yesterday, dumpster fire. That's what it is with this Eagle squad. And here's the thing. Jonathan Gannon would drop Haasan Reddick back in coverage. So Matt Patricia thinks that dropping him back in coverage more is a positive? Gross is the best way I can describe that. I have to. One more time. Haasan Reddick on dropping back.
Man, right now we just trying to get things done to win a game. I'm just doing what's asked of me at the end of the day, and trying to help the team win and with whatever way we can win. So if that's what it calls for, I'm willing to do it. I'm gonna go out there, do what's required of me, do what I'm asked to do, and then
that's what's required of me. That's what's required of me. That's what's being required. I don't feel great. I don't feel great. Coming up in a minute, Olivia Reiner will join the show, and she'll walk us through everything when it comes to Haasan Reddick. Comes to her questions throughout the week. We've talked a lot about her line of questioning last week and this week. Last week to Nick Sirianni. Hey, if all this is fixable, why isn't it fixed? Derp. No answer. No good answer there from Nick Sirianni. And then Brian Johnson, why wouldn't you be more aggressive knowing that you were going to need a touchdown to win that game against the Cardinals, given how your defense was terrible. That wasn't the way she phrased it, but you get the idea. And Brian Johnson says, I don't know how to answer that question. Not great, folks. Not great. Not feeling great. Not feeling great. Let's get to this Eagles-Giants game. I obviously want to win. I want the Eagles to win the game. I want to end the season on a good note. I want the Commanders to go beat the Cowboys in Week 18. I'd love to see that happen. And how to give the Eagles a shot at winning the division. That'd be amazing. That'd be great. I just don't have a lot of confidence in that happen. Now, here's the biggest confidence boost you could have here, okay? Again, this is me grasping at very skinny straws of hope, all right? This isn't me predicting what's going to happen. But the Commanders beat the Cowboys in Week 18 last year. Cowboys still had something to play for. Sam Howell made his first start for the Commanders. It was a 26-6 stomping by the Commanders of the Dallas Cowboys. That was cool, right? Hey, Sam Howell threw for 169 yards on like 11 of 19 passing. Let's go for that. Let's do that. Let's do that thing. Cowboys have a situation here where they win and they just clinch the division. They just handle their business, and they play at the same time as the Eagles, so they're going to want to keep fighting. There's a couple of things that they might try to force. Again, grasping at skinny straws of hope here. Just any way the Cowboys could lose this game. The other thing is they're not playing at home. They're on the road. They suck. They're 3-5 on the road this year. They're just terrible. And they're in Landover, Maryland for this game. And then the other thing is CeeDee Lamb is going for the receiving yards title against Tyreek Hill. He pretty much has the reception title. He's got 10 more receptions than Tyreek Hill going into the last week of the season. And he's, looking for another, outstanding season overall. Put a button on it. Tony Pollard is about 66 yards shy of a 1,000-yard season, his back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And Dak Prescott's rookie year, he put up a 104.9 passer rating. That's the highest passer rating he's ever had in his career, his rookie season when he was Offensive Rookie of the Year. If he's able to, have a great game and have a 105 passer rating, so to speak, he'll have the highest. He's higher than that. He's like a 115, I think. Then he'll have the highest passer rating of his career. Yeah, go ahead. Go for those goals. Go for those little milestones, those individual milestones. And while you're doing that, get distracted from the actual game plan of beating the Commanders. Like I said, folks, it's not concrete. It's not a great argument, but it's me grasping at straws. The only one that is actually worth a damn is the fact that the Cowboys suck on the road. So let's go for that one. Meanwhile, with the Eagles, win this game. I made a request against the Commanders, against the Cardinals. I made a request. Show me something exotic. Show me something that is going to make other teams think in the postseason, I got to watch out for that because they did it during the regular season, whatever the case may be. Not just that little jet sweep. I mean, that's what I was asking for, the jet sweep. But you know what they gave us? They gave us the tush-push fake quarterback sneak, Kenny Gainwell pass to Devontae Smith. That was great. I loved that. You know what I need in this game? Basic, bland, boring football. That's what I need on both sides of it. You win a one-on-one battle at the line of scrimmage as a defensive lineman? Great. Get a sack? Great. I don't need an exotic blitz out of that. Bland. Give me bland. Like maybe Haasan Reddick doesn't drop back into coverage 7 times. Maybe just let him do the thing that he does really well, which is get after the quarterback. There's just an idea for you. I'm just thinking out loud here. And then also offensively speaking, bland, which is pretty much what they do anyway. That's their comfort zone. Now, about no turnovers. Let's go with that. I just need fundamentally sound football. I don't need perfect football. Hell, I don't even need that standard that's been talked about so much throughout this season. I don't need it. You know what I need? Bland, basic, mistake-free football. Not perfect. No, when I say mistake-free, the glaring mistakes, the turnovers, the horrendous play calls. I get a comfortable win. That's all I need. Just a comfortable win. Please? You're coming off a game where James Conner ran 128 yards on you. What's Saquon Barkley going to do to you? That seems like it's going to be rather scary. Can we not have Saquon Barkley run all over this defense? Is that going to be a possibility? Because put me down for that, where he doesn't run all over your defense like James Conner did. Tyrod Taylor going to tear you up like he did in the second half 2 weeks ago. Could also go for that. Tommy DeVito started out that game with a belly full of smelts. Couldn't do anything. Tyrod Taylor comes in there. You know what happens on Christmas Day? He ends up bringing the Giants back to the point where you're sweating it out at the end of that game. It's horrifying and it's scary. Could definitely use a nice, comfortable win if the Eagles are even capable of doing it. Hey, look, I hope all the people that talked about, how A.J. Brown saved the season and changed the mindset of the locker room and all that, I hope that's right. We'll see how much of a impactful leader A.J. Brown is. Meanwhile, on the defensive side of things, I don't think enough people have talked about how difficult it has been until Haasan Reddick opened his mouth. Coming up in just a minute, we will let you guys hear from Olivia Reiner, all the great things she had to say about this team. And all the light that she shone on the Eagles locker room. Also, make sure you guys check out this story on Inquirer.com. It does detail more of the story with Haasan Reddick and everything that he had to get into at the Eagles locker room sessions yesterday. So we'll get to all that and more coming up in a second. We're going to end the show today with our conversation with Olivia Reiner. So before we do that, we'll get into the chat check in a second. But let me tell you guys right now about the great people at the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone right now. Take advantage of all they have to offer. Want to go to the big game? Want to go to the concert? Want to go to the comedy show? Want to go to the theater? Make sure you download the Game Time app to your phone and get $20 off when you use promo code Farzy. That's $20 off when you use promo code Farzy at the Game Time app. Game Time app. GameTime.co. Download it to your phone, open up an account, make sure you use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase. Here's what's great also, the Game Time guarantee. If you find seats on another site or app that are less and they're in the same row and same section, how about this? 110% of the difference is what Game Time app will pay. Not too shabby right there. That's the Game Time guarantee. Last minute ticket sales, flash ticket sales, so that you get ultimate savings even after an hour. When the event starts, an hour later, you can still get big time savings on the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, use promo code Farzy after you create an account, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Not too shabby. How about MyBookie? MyBookie.ag. How'd you like up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus? Well, all you got to do right there is use promo code Farzy. That's promo code Farzy at mybookie.ag. Want to bet on the Birds? Want to bet on the Flyers? Tough loss last night in the shootout. Bet on all of it right there at the MyBookie app. Also, you can bet on your favorite TV shows. You can also bet on politics. Use promo code Farzy at mybookie.ag for up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus. That's mybookie.ag. How about the amazing people of Manscaped? Oh, Manscaped. Hopefully you guys took care of some great people and yourself around the holidays with Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Use promo code Farzy at manscaped.com for all your grooming needs. That's promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Without further ado, let's get to our chat check and see what you people are saying about this interesting Haasan Reddick story that we have going out here right now. I'm going to start it off with Jason A. Good morning, Jason A. Can't believe it's Friday. Friday again? Yeah. Fortunately. Good morning, April. April. Good morning. Sean Gillespie, good morning, everyone. Sean, don't worry about Reddick. Don't want Reddick to be predictable. Geniuses. Jason A., what's going on? Morning, y'all. We will see season finale Sunday, hopefully in a huge snowstorm. I don't want that. I don't like snow. I love watching it. But I don't know. Injuries kind of. I don't know. Morning, all. Jacob Country. What's up, Sean? Jason A is back. Right on, Farzy. The players are throwing coaches under the bus without even realizing it. But that's the thing that's so amazing about what Haasan Reddick had to say. He's not just throwing the coaches under the bus. He's throwing the front office under the bus. That's bonkers to me. Nobody does that. I guess Haasan Reddick's going to get traded in the offseason. Sean, this reverse psychology, making the quarterback not think you're interested in him. Brilliant coaching. Sean Kilray, good morning. Non-conformist, again, great name. Kind of disappointed in Reddick. This defense needs a leader, especially somebody to get on Jordan Davis. No leader on that dude at all. Yeah, I'm not disappointed because what the Eagles did was bull. I understand, we got to rally together and all that stuff. Here's the bottom line. He is saying he's going to do whatever it takes. He's acknowledging the difficulty in doing that. He's acknowledging how difficult the team, the front office, the coaching staff is making it on the players. If one of the biggest cliches in sports, and it's a cliche because it's true, is coaches got to put players in a better position to make plays. You essentially fired their coach with 4 games left. What the hell are they supposed to do? Yeah, it would be great if they rallied. But hold on a second. We're supposed to get this right in 4 weeks before the playoffs start? We were 10-1 2 weeks ago? At the time they did it, 2 weeks ago. Hate to say it, but the 49ers did break this team. Loyalty over money? Yeah. It certainly seems like it. The 49ers broke them. The Cowboys broke them. Terrible. Jason, he literally said the higher-ups laugh out. Yep. Laugh my ass off. Conformist side. Side? Like the lie Sirianni said, it was his choice. He's not the higher-ups. Yeah. Loyalty haven't been the same since they got that reality check against San Francisco, no doubt. Martez, what's up? The dude broken down the play. I bet you can't do it. The dude broken down the play. I bet you can't do it. Okay. Reddick ain't getting that extension. Now, that's what he's due for an extension, Scoozy. Debo was a man, honestly. He talked all that ish. I said ish because it was edited. For the people on the podcast, it does not say ish. Wanted to and went into the link and stood on it. Oh, good God. Eagles didn't do ish. He proved his point. Pretty much. Sean Kilrain. Haasan Reddick on having to drop into coverage versus the Cardinals more than he ever has as an edge rusher was a joke, in my own opinion, Farzi. I concur. Ravi, what's up, Ravi? We ain't going to the Super Bowl. All right, well, I do agree with that. The NFL's rigged? We're jumping to that one? I can't jump to that one. I understand why you'd want to, but I can't jump to that one. Appreciate you. A little about A.J. Brown is a cancer to a locker room. Ever since he's been acting like a little bitch, the offense has been trash. No wonder why Tennessee let him go happily. I don't have a problem with A.J. Brown at all. I love the emotion. I love seeing it. The guy came out. I mean, look, he did this organization a favor by not talking over those 2 weeks. A huge favor. Because my original thought was if he's got nothing nice to say, he's not going to say anything at all. That's how he was raised. And that's exactly what he said 2 days ago when he stood at his locker. I had nothing else to say, so I wasn't going to say it. I didn't want to pile on. I didn't want to be extra negative. Here's what A.J. Brown probably would have said if he spoke after the game, after the Seahawks game, after the Giants game, and immediately after the Cardinals game. Here's probably what he would have said. Bleep you, bleep you, bleep you. Looking at Jalen, you're cool. Bleep you, I'm out. And then throw the microphone. And then went and hung out with Chappelle and those guys. That's probably what would have happened. He did the organization a huge favor. Because let's face it, I think he knows that these are good play calls. I think he knows these are good game plans. These are good strategies. I think he knows his coaching staff is choking. But regardless, he's got his marching orders. He's going in to do battle. I respect that about him. He's not throwing anybody under the bus. I don't think he's a cancer even a little bit. I think he's a hell of a player. Imagine trying to play offense or lead the team as a quarterback, and you got a grown man, A.J. Brown, constantly crying and complaining. That definitely affects the team chemistry. Yeah, but he's not wrong. Oh, yeah. Derek Barnett, Ray, Lester, Jordan, Joe. Derek Barnett, 16 tackles, 21 and a half sacks, 18 pressures in 3 games. 2.5 sacks. Sorry, 2.5 sacks in 3 games with the Texans. Yeah, how about that? D'Amico Ryans knows what he's doing. Real RMP, what's going on? Eagles-Giants game means squadoosh. The rest of the starters and get ready for Tampa Bay or New Orleans. The division sailed away last week. Yeah, I'm not that far off with you. Not that far off with you. Eric Wisniewski, I'm sick of the standard. I want to see results. Yep, I'm with you. Eagles are done. Their defense has no desire to tackle or play physical, and teams have been running all over them for weeks. Pretty much. Okay, so you want to get rid of Crybaby Brown, says Slayer1. Now it's a growing opinion here. Get rid of this guy. I'm good. I don't want to leave him. I don't want to. I love him on this team. He is a hell of a football player. I'd love the coaches to actually use him. That's what I'd love. Loyalty over money. And the offense is at war with each other. The whole team has collapsed. That Super Bowl window shut fast. That's what happens when you have no real leadership. I hate that this is now. I think the Eagles have phenomenal leadership. I don't know. They lose a couple of games. All of a sudden, they're terrible. They have no leadership. They're a rudderless ship. The only place that needs rudders is the front office right now. I think the locker room is far ahead of the coaching staff and far ahead of the front office as far as having a handle on things. And I think Haasan Reddick said something that I think a lot of the players will love him for. Thank you for acknowledging that this isn't easy. Thank you for acknowledging that them making this change, the higher-ups, them making this change made things a hell of a lot more difficult on us as a team. It's not just, it's not. This is the same offense, the Eagles' offense. I'm just calling plays. It's the only thing that's different. Yeah, that's pretty damn different. Different cook in the kitchen, man. Different cook in the kitchen. Let's see what else we got here. April, good luck with the snow up there. Oh yeah, New York. We're down here. People are losing their minds. Yeah, snow's not supposed to be that bad in Philly for myself. Like 1 to 2 inches, maybe 3. I was at Costco yesterday talking to my nice lady Sylvia. She hands out the what do you call it? The breaded chicken samples, which are lovely. And people were freaking out about the snow. Well, Syl's she's trying to talk to me about do you like the Eagles this weekend? And I was just like, I don't like the Eagles at all right now. I think they'll win. I'm gonna go ahead and predict they'll beat the Giants. But I don't feel great about it. Let's just say that. And she goes, do you think they'll win in the playoffs? And I was like, oh, no. But I'm hoping they will. But yeah, people are prepping for the snow. And I'm talking birds with the nice breaded chicken lady. But I thought Matt Patricia was going to be amazing, says Midnight Lexicon. Great name. These names are really off the chart today. But I thought Matt Patricia was going to be amazing. He was going to turn things around. At least Desai made halftime adjustments. Can I have Desai back? What a joke. I think players would like Desai back. Here we go. Jay saying on a positive note, Phillies pitchers and catchers, not long from now. I'm here for it. North Philly, Farzi, why don't the coaching staff look back at what Shane was doing last year and try to go from there? That's a start, don't you think? Yeah. North Philly, it's why the hell aren't they doing it? Why the hell aren't they doing it? Why does this have to be a revelation? Makes no damn sense to me whatsoever. Sean Kilrain, Derek Barnett trying to be like Reggie White all of a sudden. Go Birds, says Stephen Ike. Go Birds, Giants going to get that smoke. Yeah, I hope that they still have smoke. Daz, this is on the coaches, period. Go watch the film, guys. Guys are in wrong positions. The scheme is terrible. You know what was interesting about this second question? Is this the second question from McLean? Oh, damn it. Mistakes due to okay. Mistakes during coordinator change. Listen to this.
I think a lot of it, like you said, we changed coordinator.
Sorry, let me set that up again. McLean asked about how much of the mistakes made on defense and the struggles made on defense are because of a defensive coordinator change.
I think a lot of it, like you said, we changed coordinators. They got a different style, a different way they want things done. and that's pretty much what it is. Patricia's in there now. He has a certain way that he would like for things to be done, and we're doing our best to adapt to that in this time period that we have, and trying to get everybody on the same page moving forward. That way we can be great in the playoffs.
Is that why?
That's right. Get everybody on the same page now in week 18. So anyway, Jeff McClain then follows that question up. And he says, is that why when I was watching film, and credit to Jeff for noticing this, when he watched the film, when he watched the All-22, guys on defense, like, how on offense, you'll see guys scrambling, and you'll be looking at the play clock, and you'll be like, oh, wait, hold on, this guy's not in position yet. Are they going to get the snap off? Jeff was seeing that on the defensive side of the ball. Guys being shown, no, you're going to be over there, and seeing that a lot. Guys late getting onto the field. And when he posed the question to Haasan Reddick was like, oh, damn. Like the look on his face, the verbal pause. What I read from the situation was, oh, damn, he noticed that? Like, yeah, we're trying to understand from a new defensive coordinator, essentially, what the hell he really wants from us and where we're supposed to be. This is difficult to do. Make no mistake about it. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Appreciate everybody in the chat. There we go. There we go. Go Birds. There you go. E-Money Bentley. Go Birds. Appreciate you. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute honor to speak to this guest. It's the first time that she's been on the show. We're ending the show with this interview. Yesterday, I caught up with Olivia Reiner of Inquirer.com. Once again, you guys can give her a follow right here at Reiner Olivia on Twitter. And also make sure you check out this article where she talks a little bit more about Haasan Reddick's dealing with the media yesterday. The headline here is willing to do it to win. Whatever it takes to win. Drop back in coverage, whatever it takes to win. Very simple. At least that's the concept right there. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to Olivia Reiner of Inquirer.com as I load the interview. At least I hope to load the interview. And, yeah, here she is breaking it all down when it comes to the Eagles taking on the Giants this weekend, as well as the Eagles ending the season, changing defensive coordinator, her great questions to Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson and Haasan Reddick and whatever the hell's going on with this defense and their new DC. Eagles team cover this Eagles team all season long, and they're sitting at 10-1, and all of a sudden they lose 4 of their last 5 games. What has that been like for you to cover a team in turmoil?
Yeah, it's been really interesting because I think even when the team was winning and they were 10-1, there was always still like, okay, it doesn't really feel like they're playing their best football yet. And it really didn't see a lot of complete games being played by, or at least complementary football being played by, offense, defense, special teams during that span when they were 10-1. And then, the bye week comes around and after that, and obviously the last 4 of their last 5 games, things have not gone so well for them. So it's been strange. But it does, it really, things I feel like have come to a head over these last several weeks, and a lot of the, some of the personnel issues that they've had, some of the, schematic issues that they've had, even really all season long, but especially in the last month or so have really come to the surface, and we're seeing them. And I think it's leading us all to this place where we're like, okay, what are the playoffs going to look like? Is this a team that could survive, forget a run, like how about the first round? So it's a strange place to be in coming off of the Super Bowl. I mean, everyone's expectations were so high for this team, and that's the nature of making it all the way. So that's kind of where things are right now. And still a lot of question marks that are surrounding this team going into the very last game of the season.
Certainly. Now, it's interesting to say they didn't really close out a lot of games. They didn't really, have momentum in a lot of those games. They didn't control a lot of them. It's an interesting thing because if you rewind after week 1, after they played the Patriots, it was like everybody to a man in the locker room was all saying the same thing. Like, we play a better team. We're not going to come away with a win. And sure enough, they played some better teams, or they played teams that are maybe inferior to the Patriots, a team like the Jets, and they make a lot of mistakes. It seems like this locker room kind of understood that they weren't in control of a lot of these games and really had to scramble to win. Have you been hearing a lot of the same thing from these players, even when they were sitting at 10-1?
I think when they were at that point, a lot of the rhetoric at the time was they're finding ways to win. And I think we even adopted that as well, where, like, okay, they are. It's tough to be super, super critical of a team when they're still winning. Even when we're walking away, like I'm walking to the elevator from the press box being like, okay, they won, but like what am I going to write about? What can they hang their hats on that they feel proud of? I mean, at the end of the day, a win is a win, and winning is hard to do in the NFL. And however you win, you take that and you do not ask questions, and that is what it is. So I'm not trying to discredit that, but I wouldn't say that during that span, at least my sense of just being in there, that guys were like, I don't feel so good about this. It was more so of like, okay, this is happening. We're finding ways to make this happen. It's just a matter of like, we know that we can be better and we can play better. And I think since then we've just been waiting. Okay, when is that time going to come where it's all going to come together? And it hasn't. So will it? At this point in the season, I'm not so sure.
I know everyone likes to jump to the cliche when you lose a tough game, a game you really battle. There's no moral victories. I don't believe in moral victories, but I sure as hell believe in moral losses. And it feels like that game, even though it was a win against the Giants, for instance, it was a moral loss because you should have won by more than that. And you should have been in control of that game. And they were in the first half, and they let things slip away in the second half. Now, this brings me to one of my favorite questions that I've heard all year, and I don't want to embarrass you, but it did come from you. And it came last week with Nick Sirianni, and he was talking about all the fixable things, and I'm paraphrasing, and I played your question on the show, but it was so perfect. It was along the lines, and you can put it in your own words, of course, but it was along the lines of, you say, oh, this is fixable. You've been saying for weeks this has been fixable. So the bottom line is a question that I think a lot of fans have. Why isn't it fixed? What did you make of Nick Sirianni's answer, and why do you think these things haven't been fixed with the Eagles as things wind down?
Oh man, you know what? I'll be honest. I don't exactly remember what he said to that, but that being said, I don't really know if they're like actually that's not true. I do remember what he said. He said something to the effect of like, no game is ever going to be perfect, and there's going to be mistakes in every single game. And as long as the team is not committing the same types of mistakes over and over again, like, he can live with the mistakes that aren't repeats. The repeated mistakes are what he can't live with. That said, we still have seen a lot of mistakes. This past week, I would say we probably didn't see like as many like flag mistakes. Not to say that there weren't mistakes made within the structure of what they were doing, but we saw some big mistakes. I mean, the second to last drive of the game, we saw the Jordan Mailata holding call that set them back to the 30 and brought up 1st and 20, and that was pretty much the end of that drive ultimately. So there have been some mistakes in critical situations, but yeah, it's we've seen a lot more of them this season, I feel like, than we have definitely last season. I wasn't covering the team last season. So I didn't watch the games through the lens of my job. When I was watching the Eagles games, I was watching them much more casually, but it's just something at least from the detail perspective just isn't quite there this season.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it certainly feels like that. And then this week, Brian Johnson was addressing the media. Yes, another great question. I think a lot of fans had the same question. Why not be more aggressive, especially when you need a touchdown, considering the way the Cardinals have been able to carve through the Eagles defense for, at the time, 3 consecutive drives. They ended up doing it a 4th consecutive drive when they scored their last touchdown, the game-winning touchdown. Why not be more aggressive? So you go to that 1st and 20 situation. You have an 18-yard gain from Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown. You're thinking, all right, this team's going to cook. They're going to score the touchdown here. You get the holding penalty, the back-to-back quarterback runs, the miscommunication, the timeout, and then the screen. Why not be more aggressive in that avenue, especially given the idea that the Cardinals were carving through the Eagles defense?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I I don't have obviously an answer, but I do have a lot of thoughts, which I think is generally
I'll take them all.
Questions that are the most questions that are posed to me. I'm like, I don't know if I have like the answer, or I think I have various lines of thoughts here. So yeah, that question, I think his response was interesting because he said, like, I can't answer that question, which to me is either like one of two things. It's either he doesn't want to throw the defense under the bus like directly, or that thought process, the approach to the end of that drive there was not his decision, or, that wasn't his call. That might have been maybe, Nick Sirianni, that was his line of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnson had kind of alluded, and not really even alluded to it, but had also said earlier in the press conference that, Nick Sirianni, the two of them are in constant communication throughout the game, including that drive. And, Sirianni is in his ear, particularly about the game management side of things, which is what our understanding is that is what Sirianni is doing, because he is not calling plays. It is his offense, but the offensive coordinator is calling the plays. So that was kind of what I took in the moment. But that said, especially after AJ Brown spoke yesterday, and we got to hear kind of his perspective too at the end of the game, or the second to last drive there in that series, was that, and I guess this was kind of the theme of Brown's remarks anyway, was, a lot of the blame that is being assigned to the coaches right now really should be going to the players, and that had the players executed the calls properly, then they, would have converted, or, they would have scored a touch. I don't know. It's still, to me, I suppose in the past they have run similar plays and have accumulated more yards in maybe different scenarios, but, have had more success running those plays. So perhaps in Brian Johnson's mind, he was being aggressive and he was going for the touchdown. It was just, I thought the way that he was wording it throughout the press conference of like, we needed to get points. We need to get points, was like, okay, so you're saying you're cool settling for a field goal. And to all of us in the stadium in that moment, it looked like, you just throw a screen to Kenny Gainwell. That looks like you're settling for a field goal. It doesn't look like you're trying to score a touchdown in that scenario. So I think those are all of my thoughts over the last couple of days about it. To me, it still seems, I would think that they could have been more aggressive in that scenario, but
I agree.
I
agree. Me, and I think the rest of Philadelphia. I don't want to speak for anybody else. I don't want to be like,
Sure.
Some people trying to speak for AJ Brown, but yeah, hell of a lot more aggressive. I agree with that. Absolutely. Now, the reason they should have been more aggressive, again, going back to the defense, and you wrote an article and people can check it out, Inquirer.com right now, about Haasan Reddick dropping back more in coverage than he ever has, really. Is that one of the biggest differences you have seen from Matt Patricia's play calling for the defensive side of the football versus Sean Desai? If not, what has been the biggest difference? It's
definitely one of the differences. I think that, especially in this past game against the Cardinals, I think in the last three games, we have seen more of the edge defenders dropping into coverage in certain situations. I think it happened at a higher rate. And certainly for Haasan, it happened the most of his time with the Eagles so far in this past game against the Cardinals. And I don't, the way that it happened, I think was interesting, because I think we saw more of these like 5-man fronts from Matt Patricia using a 5-man defensive front coupled with one off-ball linebacker. And then we would see like Jonathan Gannon kind of match that with, a formation that would force Haasan Reddick off the line of scrimmage to drop into coverage. So now you've got your best pass rusher on the team dropping into coverage. And that it happened several times, and they were able to kind of exploit some of those looks. And it didn't always, it just didn't work out well. I think the fact that they were able to run the ball so well against this team just kind of ended up snowballing and causing issues in the passing game. And the Eagles were really never able to recover. So that was definitely one of the differences. Haasan kind of talked about just what it's been like today to transition from, a defensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator at that, and Sean Desai. You're learning new, language and kind of the way that they, just getting used to a new defense under Desai in training camp. And then all of a sudden you're switching to a new play caller in Matt Patricia. just a few weeks ago. So it's been a learning curve for everybody. And I think that, just based off of what he spoke about today in the locker room, that also played a role in some of their struggles this most recent game against the Cardinals. So it's alarming to hear that. I would say, I don't think that, especially just because, it's a change that they brought on themselves. I'm not saying that the defense was in a good place before they made this change. It was not, and it wasn't in a good place, but maybe, I don't know if there is something to be said about consistency or, I don't know. It was just interesting to hear Haasan just kind of openly admit that. But the reality is that they're going to have to figure out a way to make things work. Obviously, I don't think that Patricia is making like super huge wholesale changes to the defense at this point in the season. I don't think that's possible. He has said that, at the end of the day, this is still the 2023 Eagles defense that he is running. There will be some new wrinkles and maybe the ways that he uses his personnel differently. But for the most part, like nothing super overwhelming. So I don't know. It was just interesting today to hear Reddick just so kind of openly admit that. And also, like he said that he will do whatever the team needs him to do as far as, if it requires him to drop into coverage more often. But I also think that he knows, and we know that he is best suited to be rushing the passer. That is his strength.
Mm-hmm. No, I certainly agree with that. To flip it back on the offensive side of the football was someone else who spoke recently, and this one first time in a while, A.J. Brown. The word that came to my mind after I listened to the whole thing, I don't know what came to your mind, but was refreshing. It was refreshing. It was enlightening to hear a player speak like that. Now, I think a lot of fans, and I'll even include myself in this, I wanted to hear a little bit more validation that, the play calling and the coaching needs to be better. It's not just all the players, but he took it the exact opposite way. He took it the way you want a player to take it, which is I can be better, we can be better. It's not on the coaches. They're not lacing him up. What did you make of the near 13-minute press conference, essentially, at his locker that A.J. Brown had on Wednesday?
Yeah, there was, he said a lot, and it was good to end the, whatever was going on, I think, as well. Just like, I thought it was interesting that he said that after the game, most recently against the Cardinals, he didn't want to like compound the negativity by commenting on the negativity, I guess. I don't know. It was that's inherently to me, like you're not just by commenting on the loss or talking about the loss, you're not compounding the negativity. I think to me, I think when he speaks to the media, to us, to the fans through the media, like that is his opportunity to control his narrative. And by not speaking to the media for the last 2 weeks, he has given other people the opportunity to speak for him, whether that's his teammates or whether that's like just, anyone watching him on the field and just wondering like, hey, why is AJ doing that? Or, why did he run the route that way? Or, why is he, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Right. Like, but it just leads to speculation, and it leads to teammates being asked questions on his behalf. It leads to coaches being asked questions on his behalf. So I think he did the right thing finally by talking and by being able to control his narrative and to put his truth out there, his side of the story out there. And I think he said all of the right things that I would imagine his teammates want to hear, that his coaches probably want to hear, just about how he is behind the coaching staff. He's, it seems like he, is united with his teammates and being behind the coaching staff and being behind Sirianni and Brian Johnson, where I feel like there certainly has been a lot of criticism thrown their way for the Eagles scheme this season and some of their offensive shortcomings. And I don't think Brown's words should necessarily say that 100% of the criticism and the blame deserves to go to the players. I think as it is with everything, it's never going to be just one thing that is the issue here. The blame and kind of the shortcomings that have happened throughout the season deserves to be spread among many stakeholders here. And that said, also, the successes too, as well, also deserve to be spread. So, I thought that it was nice to hear him speak finally. And I thought that it should feel good, I guess, if you're a fan, to hear him speak so openly and so honestly and from his heart But yeah, at the end of the day, I hope he understands, or I hope there are people in his corner that are telling him like, it's not a matter of like being negative. Like, you don't inherently have to be negative by talking about the team losing. This is an opportunity for you to share your side of the story. So we, as not only the media, but just the fan base too, has an opportunity to understand the game better, to understand how things played out better. Because at the end, like, we can speculate, we can watch the television copy, and we can see things happening. But at the end of the day, that's just like the bones of what's going on, the blood, the flesh, all of that, like that playing into it. That is like the perspective that we all get from the players.
Gotcha. I need you to set the realistic expectations here. One game left in the season. It is against the Giants. Cowboys got the Commanders. Going to be going on the road for a playoff game, most likely here. What do you think is the realistic expectation for Eagles fans right now, Olivia Reiner?
Yeah, I think that as much as it kind of pains me, because I would love to be at home. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't care. But that it certainly does feel like it's shaping up to be on the road for the playoffs type of situation. Which, it is what it is. You kind of make your own bed. They had the control. They had control of their fate in the division and at one point in the NFC. But this is just kind of the way things went. And you lose so many games, and this is where you're at. Does that mean that the Washington Commanders can't beat the Dallas Cowboys? I don't necessarily think so. I know I've been having this conversation with my colleagues throughout the week just about like, hey, what are the odds? What are the chances? And I don't know exactly what the draft ramifications are if the Commanders were to win this game, but I would imagine they're pretty substantial. So like they are incentivized to lose this game. So I guess that's something to keep in mind. But after I covered the Flyers for the last 2 years. Players don't tank. So whoever is going to be playing out there, front offices tank. So whoever is going to be playing out there, whether that is the decision of the front office or the coaching staff, for the Commanders, I would imagine the players will give it their all. But that said, it's the Cowboys won't be rolling over. I don't think that the Eagles will win the division. But it is what it is. They're gonna have
one and done in the playoffs. One and done in the playoffs.
No, I don't necessarily think so.
Go on.
Is that a hot take? I don't know.
It just is for most people's emotions right now. But you're right. If they face the Buccaneers, they can still beat the Buccaneers. If they face the Falcons, they can still face the Falcons. Beat the Falcons. The Saints. It's a terrible. I mean, look, the Eagles at least have this going for them. The NFC East has been one of the best, conferences. Them and the or divisions. Them and the Cowboys obviously slug it out. You face a team like the NFC South, you start to feel pretty damn good about yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I would think so, but I would understand why fans would be so. They wouldn't have a lot of confidence in this team to go up against anybody after dropping a really awful game against the Cardinals, especially defense. Like I think that I still have a lot of faith in this offense, just based on the individuals in this offense, regardless of the scheme that they're running. But defensively, I could understand why fans might not have a lot of confidence in this team going into the playoffs. I think that is understandable. So I don't know.
Absolutely. Olivia, this was so much fun. Really enjoyed the conversation. People, make sure you are following Olivia on social media, of course, at Reiner. That's Reiner, Olivia, at Reiner Olivia on social media, on Twitter, on X, the whole thing right there. Olivia, thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully we talk to you down the line in the playoffs. Hopefully they last long enough.
Yeah, we'll talk to you very soon, I'm sure.
Awesome. Olivia Reiner joining us from Inquirer.com. Thank you.